George of the jungle, strong as he can be.
So are you sick and tired of the market going up faster than your ability to qualify for it? Maybe there's a solution. Thanks for coming into thecreditjungle.com today. This is George Anderson, and let's talk a little bit about what the difference is between a single family residence and a duplex, and how a duplex can help you qualify for up to 25% more in purchase price, in some cases even more than that. So first of all, before I get into the number crunching part up here, we've had some other videos where we've talked about an accessory dwelling unit, mother-in-law apartment, twin homes, and basically what is the property style of something that might look like a duplex but doesn't qualify for a duplex. So what I want to do first in the first part one of this video, and we'll do the numbers in part two, but part one of this video is that a duplex, FHA, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, VA, they require it to be legal and conforming. Okay? In other words, what it means is that it's got a legal configuration and it conforms to the current zoning. So typically the zoning, it will be R2, at least that's what it is in Utah, and then it will have some number, 8,000, 10,000, and that's what the minimum square foot size is for the lot on there. And you might have it where it says that it's conforming, it conforms to the zoning, but the property still could not be a legal duplex. So from a lender's standpoint, what they're looking at for that to be a legal duplex, the big thing that is the real obvious one to pick out real quick for most people is, are there two separate furnaces? Are there separate electric meters, separate gas meters? There's a reason for that, and if you sit and think about COVID, okay, yeah, duh. I mean, we don't necessarily, if the upstairs people or the people living next door, if we're all got all of our exhaust going into the same cold air return and blowing out the same hot air, I don't know that that filter is going to catch COVID. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But you don't want to be spreading germs, from one unit to the other. So those separate furnaces are for that. And then if you have the separate gas meters and electric, that most of the time will mean that you have a legal duplex configuration. So there's some other little things in there that you can look at, but you want to look at the zoning, and then you want to look at the utilities and see how that's put together there. The other thing that's really nice about a duplex is that even though you're going to qualify for a larger payment, you're going to have rent coming in from the other side. And let's just talk about the rent, because people will say, well, but the duplex that I'm looking at, it's vacant. There's nobody renting in the other side of that. Can I still buy it, and is it still going to help me? Well, the answer is yes, and then I'll explain how we come to the numbers on that. The other situation, they say, hey, I've got some guy there that he just was willing to pay nosebleed because he's got a work situation or a family situation, and he had to live there, and he's paying $3,000 a month. He's paying way more than what he should be paying. Can I count that income as there? Well, a percentage of it, yes. So the rent, first of all, so that everybody understands how the rent is calculated, it doesn't matter if there's somebody in there, how much rent they're paying, or if it's vacant. What matters is what the appraiser says. The appraiser is going to go out there, in addition to finding comparable sales to figure out what the value of the home is, the appraiser is also going to find out what is the fair market rent for that square footage, that location, that style, and they have to look at what are properties renting for in the area there. So that's basically the overview of how, before we get to the numbers here. But having a duplex has some really good tax advantages too. Once you've lived in it for a couple of years and you want to move out and then put the tenant in where you were living, there's no way that you're not going to have positive cash flow on that. You really can't always do that with a single family residence, but on a duplex, you're going to be all set. So let's just whet the appetite a little bit before I get into the numbers, but that's going to be just a preview on why a duplex can be a very advantageous move for your first home if you intend to live on one side of it and rent out the other one. Thanks for coming into thecreditjungle.com today. This is George Anderson. Push button, get mortgage professional, and we'll talk to you soon on the flip side. Have a great day.